the blessings of Bhumi Devi and Mahalakshmi. So she was called Bhuma. So he brought up this girl Bhuma with so much of love. And this girl of 4 or 5 years took up to cooking because her father was always engaged in austerities. Somebody had to cook. So she started cooking. One day an aged person, in a few days from then he will die. That kind of an aged person, he walked towards the hermitage of Markandeya Maharishi and said, Markandeya, I need to find a good bride. Markandeya asked, for your grandson? No, for me. Markandeya did not know what to reply to this old man. He was 1 foot on the grave. But he was worried that that man will end up cursing him. So he said, why have you approached me, sir? I heard that you have a little girl in your house. Say, she's a little girl. Call her, ask her whether she is in agreement to marry me. Sir, she doesn't know what proportion of salt is to be added to food. Don't worry, my doctor has also advised have less salt. I will not have salt from now on. Call your daughter. The daughter came. Markandeya thought the daughter will reject him outright. She said, if at all I have to marry, I'll marry only him. What do you find attractive in this man? To that girl alone, that old man appeared as a young man. He was none but the Lord himself. So he said, I choose to be a person who is abstained from salt throughout my life. Uppu illa appan. But then she said, don't call yourself like by this name. What is your husband's name? Saltless man. If somebody asks, what is your husband's name? Mr. Saltless. I will give you one definition, the wife said. Voppu illa appan, the one who has no match. Why? Because he is the one and the only one. Kime kam daivatam loke. The one God. Kimvap ekam parayanam. So he says, whom should I reach? Where? So in Upayam itself, remember this, in Upayam itself, the questions are split into 2. Parama Tattvam, Parama Prapyam. That which is that who is the final one to be attained, and that one who has to be attained where? Comes the next questions. Parama Prapyam. Now, Parama Prapyam means his abode. What is the abode of Narayana? It is called Sri Vaikuntham or Paramapadam. That is what is mentioned. Now, before getting to this one general question I will ask, who is a Nastika? Huh? Who does not believe in God? You agree? Huh? Very good. The one who doesn't believe in Vedas is called Nastika. Remember this. If you have to answer technically in Sanatana Dharma, if they ask you who is an atheist, you give that definition. One who believes in no God. Astika means one who says Asti. Vedam is there. Na Asti, the one who doesn't believe that Vedas are not true, is called Nastika. Okay. Now, coming to the point. Kimekam daivatam loke suggests whom I have to attain. Kimva pyekam parayanam, where I have to attain. That was the second. Now these 2 questions are related to Upayam. Come to question number 3, 4, 5, 6. Upayam. Stuvantah kam. Whom should I do stuti of? Kam archantaha. Whom should I do archana of? Prapnayur manavaha shubham. Upon which manavas like us will attain auspiciousness. 5th question. Ko dharmas sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramomataha. In your opinion, Bhishmacharya, bhavatah paramomataha. In your opinion, ko dharmas sarva dharmanam. Which is the dharma, the best of all dharmas? Kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. Upon doing the japam of whom Janma samsara bandhanat. One can get rid of this worldly material bondage. These are the 6 questions. Question number 1 and 2 is about upayam. Question number 3, 4, 5, 6 is about upayam. Now I am going to divide the 4 questions further into 3 categories. Question number 3 and 4 is about siddha upayam. Question number 5 is about sadhya upayam. Question number 6 is about salambanopayam. Early morning. This lecture is between our mouth and bisi bele baat. Siddha upayam, sadhya upayam. See, in school days, early morning if you have a history session, after lunch break if you have grammar class, equivalent to that is Vishnu Sahasranamam class on a Sunday morning. But I can't help, he has commented that way. Go ask Bhishma why. Question number 3 and 4 is about siddha upayam. What is siddha? Siddha means that which is ready. Siddham means ready. See, if somebody asks, sir, we have to leave for the lecture, are you ready? I am siddham, means I am ready. Siddha upayam is the Lord himself, because he is the one who is always ready. Sadhya upayam is either bhakti or sharanagati. This is question number 5. Question number 6 is salambanopayam, which is japam. Kim japan muchyate jantur. Through which of the japas can we attain him? So the 6 questions are ready. Question number 1 and 2 is about upayam. Question number 3, 4, 5, 6 is about upayam. Question number 3 and 4 are about siddha upayam. Question number 5, sadhya upayam. Question number 6, salambanopayam. Now, question number 3 and 4 are divided further, which is laghu sadhya siddha upayam. Question number 4 is alaghu siddha sadhya upayam. As and when that answer comes, we'll explain. Now, Bhishma Acharya thought, first of all, he liked Yudhishthira and he liked his questions. See, generally when there is a question answer session in most of the other places, one of the easiest ways to keep the person who's asking the question quiet is to give that remark, your question is good. Good question, sir. It will be a waste question. But if we tell that only, he will be happy and he will sit. Parvala, no question kuda nanna irukku sollitter. Adina ashodu ukandrom. So, but here Yudhishthira asks genuine questions, and Bhishma Acharya tells, but he says, I will give answer in my own way. You should give the liberty to the person, right? That is when he starts telling the answer. I will tell you what is the answer for every question. You'll have to map that. He starts answering for the 6th question first. He says, I will answer the 6th question first. Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purushas Satatothitaha. So this is the answer to the 6th question. Kim Japan Muchyate Jantur. So he says, Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam. Ananta, the one who is not bound by space and time. Purushottamam, Jagat Prabhum, Prabhu. Who is Prabhu? Kalyan Jewellers. Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam. Purushottamam. Who's Purushottamam? See, how do we derive at the word Purushottama? I will tell you how the word comes. Anybody with the name Purushottama here? Anybody who knows somebody with the name Purushottama here? Very good. So you go and tell them what their name means. They have a wonderful name. Whether they are like that or not, the name is wonderful. Purushottama. There are 3 tattvas in Vedanta. Achit, Chit, Ishvara. Achit means that which is not substratum to knowledge. That which doesn't give space to knowledge is called Achetanam, Achit. That which gives space to knowledge is called Chit. Jivatma is called Chit. The one who controls Achit and Chit is called Ishvara. Okay. This Chit is divided into 3. Baddha, Mukta, Nitya. We are all bound by karma. So we are called Baddhatma. If at all we attain moksham, we will get green card. Now we are H1B visa holders. Once we get green card, we will become Muktatma. The original people who are staying in Vaikuntham, aborigines or the natural native people, are called as Nityatma. So Jivatma is divided into Baddhatma, Muktatma, Nityatma. You sir. Wait, it will get easy, don't worry. So there are 5. Achit, Baddhatma, Muktatma, Nityatma, Ishvara. Ishvara is called Purusha. Purushaha is different from Achetana. So he is called Utpurusha. He is different from Baddhatma. He is called Uttara Purusha. Then he is called Uttama Purusha. Purusha, Utpurusha, Uttara Purusha, Uttama Purusha. Since he is different from every tattva found in this world, he is called Uttama. Tama in Sanskrit means EST. We say, right, tallest, EST, that is Tama. So Purushottama means the best amongst Purushas. So what was the answer? Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purusha Satatothitaha. Okay. For this, the name corresponding to this in Sahasranamam is the Nama 685. It is called Stavapriyaha. Stuti Stotarana Priyaha. Have you heard of this? Stavapriyaha. What does Stavapriyaha mean? Katha kathanchit yatha kachit bhashaya yena kenapi tejaskarastitaskari va gunasankirtana abhimanena kriyamanastava svavishayah priyastamo asya iti Stavapriyaha. The one who loves being celebrated in any way the devotee celebrates, he is called Stavapriyaha. Which means, whatever mistakes we do in the Aradhanam, we should try avoiding, but you don't have to worry. Because many people say, in today's puja, I offered the Tulasi first and then Dhupam later. What will happen? Nothing will happen. First of all, discard fear when you reach the Lord. He is more merciful and lovable than your own parents. Even your parents may have disagreements with you, but the Lord will never have any disagreement with you. So in the last 100 years, we have done lot of damage to Sanatana Dharma. If God does harm to his devotees, he is not God. Remember this. He is greater than our mother. Why will he harm us? So when you are doing puja or aradhanam, however simple or however humble it is, do it with love, do not do it with fear. Is there a way that God is benevolent? Can you give an example? I'll give you an example from Bhagavad Ramanujacharya's Charitram. Even today, there is an Utsavam called Tiruppavadai Utsavam in all the Vaishnava temples. You know what they will do? In front of the deity, the Moola deity, they will put a huge veshti, dhoti, and they will make many vegetables together. They will make one bisibele bath and put it in front of him. It is called Kadamba Sadam. Then the entire town, that day they won't cook. They will come with their dabbas, they will take that prasadam and go. So 1000 years before, this ceremony had to happen in Srirangam. This Utsavam got ready, vegetables were being cut. Day 2, this Utsavam was supposed to happen. And on that day 2, when this Utsavam happens, where before Lord Sri Ranganatha, the cooked rice is kept in front of him. On that day, the reigning preceptor of that region, Acharya, has to come in front of the Lord, and then the priest will say, Jiya! He will say, oh Acharya, come here. The Acharya has to receive the Tirtham of the Lord first, and as soon as he receives, the other devotees will receive, and the prasadam will be distributed amongst the devotees. This is the procedure. On day 1, the previous day, Ramanuja went on a expedition. He went city after city, village after village, and he was returning to Srirangam. So while returning to Srirangam from the northern part of Srirangam, he had to cross the tributary to Kaveri called as Kollidam. Generally, Kollidam is not a tributary where there is lot of water. You have to walk on the sands and come. So as Ramanuja was walking with his retinue of Sishyas towards Srirangam on the sands of Kollidam, towards the corner where there was wet sand, he saw a group of 4 or 5 children seated and playing. He was wondering, what are they playing on these wet sands? He went closer. He saw that these children, maybe of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, they had made a replica of Srirangam temple with that wet sand. And inside that sanctum sanctorum, the replica was this small. In that there was a Garbhagraham, and inside that they had kept one small bamboo stick in the place of Ranganatha. And opposite that bamboo stick, they had made small cups which were akin to the silver cups that you have in the Sannidhi. And Kaveri water was kept in those small tiny cups. And one of the students thought that he is the priest and the other student has to be Ramanuja. So the other student, who was of 5 years age, he was holding 3 sticks together, Tridandi Sannyasi. So this boy priest said, he had taken some sand and kept it in front of that bamboo who is akin to Ranganatha, and that sand was Bisibele Bath. So this boy who is the priest, Jiya, like how it would happen on day 2, where when the priest says Jiya, Ramanuja has to come, he says Jiya. The other boy who is Ramanuja comes in front, I am here. And that boy, the priest boy, had to give that little water because they are enacting what would happen the next day. But to their surprise, when that little boy said, Jiya, Ramanuja, who was witnessing this from a distance, came running and he put his palm in the front. This boy was surprised. How is my friend's palm so big? He looked this side, he found that gigantic personality of Ramanuja. He did not know what to react, this boy of 4 or 5 years, to that man of 80 or 90 years. Then Ramanuja said, please give me that water. He took that little cup made out of Kaveri sand and poured that water into Ramanuja's palm. Ramanuja drank and told his Sishyas, what Utsavam was supposed to happen tomorrow has happened today. Stop the Utsavam tomorrow. The Sishyas asked why. I could see Ranganatha in that little mantapam the child has made. Ranganatha is not just in that sanctum sanctorum, he is in that little stick what this little boy has made. Because he is Tava Priyaha. Whatever you call him, he will accept that. You know, Andal, the mystic poetess, she tells, you all think there are only 1,000 names of Vishnu in Sahasranamam, correct? 1,000 names. She says there is a 1,001th name. Generally, when people give gifts for functions, they will always make the 1,101. What is the 1,001th name? Andal tells, Pennin Varuttam Ariyada Perumal. The one who does not know the pain or the agony what women have. That is his 1,001th name. What is his 1,001th name? The one who doesn't know the agony of women. That is the 1,001th name. The Lord says, if Andal gives me that, I will accept that also. Correct. So, that is the answer to the 6th question. Jagat Prabhum, Deva Devam, Anantam, Purushottamam, Stuvan, Nama Sahasrena, Purushaha Satatothitaha. Answer to the 6th question. What is the 6th question? Salambano Payam. Okay. Now, let us go to the question number 4. What was the question number 4? Question number 4 was Kamarchantaha. So whom should I do Archana of? Who is Archana? She is a singer. Who is Archana? My granddaughter. Archana. What does Archana mean? You go to a temple. Sir, one cheeti kodira sir. 50 rupees. ಎಷ್ಟು sir ಬೇಕು Archana ಎಷ್ಟು ticket? They'll give one ticket. You will go there. Hey, Vingo. Gotram. Bharadwaj Gotram. Okay, then he'll go. The priest will go inside. We will be absolutely disconnected to what he's saying. He will make sure that he is not audible outside. From this place he will start. He'll go inside. Then how will you know he has completed? The last two namas will have one tone. Bhuvaneshwarye Namaha. You will take the 10 rupee coin, because nobody accepts 10 rupee coins. Who will accept? Only the Lord will accept. You will take the 10 rupee coin and Archana is done. Okay. This is the Archana's tone and tenor today. But what is Archana for? See, Sahasranama says, Stuti Stotaranaf Priyaha, the one who loves to listen to praises. Who doesn't? Right? Even we love to listen to our praises, just that it may be untrue. That's all. See, we should not assume what we get as praises to be true. I would have forgotten 2 shlokas. Yennama sonnel. I should not take that seriously. I should. Yennama sonnel. Yennama. I should take it in that tone. But the Lord is absolutely conversant and eligible for receiving our praises. But how do we go and praise Him? We are not that adept. See, neither do we know Shastram in detail, nor can we remember our Itihasas and Puranas called Upabrahmanam in detail. That is why our rishis, who are very generous, kind and benevolent, have themselves created those set pattern of praises. Prakrityai Namaha, the one who is Prakriti. Vikrityai Namaha, the one who has created that is bereft of Prakriti. Vidyayai Namaha, the one who is knowledge herself. Sarvabhuta Hita Pradayai Namaha, the one who thinks good for all the creatures in her creation. Shraddhayai Namaha, the one who is a personification of utmost devotion. Swahayai Namaha, the one who accompanies Agni during all the Vedic injunctions. Swadhayai Namaha, the one who accompanies all Vedic aphorisms that attract the Pitrus. It is called Swadha. Paramatmikayai Namaha, the one who is the better half to the Lord. Vache Namaha, the one who is present in the eloquence of a person. Padmalayayai Namaha, the one who is seated on the lotus whose petals give only radiance and exuberance. Padmanilayayai Namaha, the one who is as wet and merciful as the lotus which blossoms with the connection of the serene waters of a pond. This is what Archana is. So, our rishis have created this pattern and they have said, when you go to a temple, you may not be adept enough to sing, at least listen to the Archana. That listen word is only a problem for us. Correct? So, 2 things are meant to make any Archana successful. 1, the person who is wanting to do Archana should listen. The one who is doing Archana should be sincere. When you go to a temple, now from now on you make it a point. You are paying for an Archana. Listen to it. And if there is a priest who is listening to it, let them do it sincerely. You may be wondering, sir, poor thing, how many times he will be doing? He has taken up that as his job, dharma. He has to do it. So, what is the 4th question? Kamarchantaha. Whom should I do Archana of? Answer to that is the next answer. Tameva charchayan nityam bhaktya purushamavyayam dhyayan stuvan namasyamscha yajamanas tameva charchayan nityam. See, why did Yudhishthira ask 6 questions when answer was the same? You are getting my point. For all the answers, you know what Bhishma tells? It is the same Narayana to whom Archana has to be done. It is the same Archana who is the only God. It is the same Narayana who is the Dharmam. To get one answer, why should you ask 6 questions? Because in the Laukika pattern, in our mundane pattern, we have different ministries allotted. Mahalakshmi means she will give gold. Tomorrow if you have fever, she has not studied medicine. That is our understanding. If you go to Hayagriva, he will give you knowledge. Tomorrow if you want money, no. He is not concerned with finance. No credit risk, no market risk. He doesn't know all that. This is our way of understanding Sanatana Dharma. Understand this way. If Narayana can grant moksham, he can also grant us 10 rupees. Correct? So the one who grants moksham is adept of granting us knowledge, material pleasures, and so on. How do we know that? In Sri Bhagavad Gita, you have the shloka what Krishna tells. Again, this is a very important shloka. Gita is something that some people say, what are you doing these days? I'm reading Gita. I have to fall at their feet. Because when you read Gita, if there is someone who can understand Gita by just reading, they are to be celebrated at the level of Adi Shankara and Ramanuja. Because in my humble opinion, you can never understand Gita by taking the book of Gita. It's very tough. Everywhere the shloka will be said, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Arjuna, do your duty. Don't expect the fruits. Is it really something that you believe in? Your child studies to go to Berkeley or Harvard. See, you study. Don't do it with the aim of going to Berkeley or Harvard. How will you say this? So first of all, our understanding of Gita itself is wrong. If Gita was so simple, Shankara, Ramanuja, Vedanta Deshika would have not commented at all. So you need someone to explain. Now let me take this shloka. Have you heard of the shlokam? Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinor Arto jignasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshaba. Hey Bharatarshaba, hey Arjuna, 4 classes of people propitiate me. Chaturvidha, 4 classes of people. Bhajante mam, they all do bhajana, think of me. Janaha sukritinor junaha, they do it to get good deeds. Who are they? Asked Arjuna. Artaha, jignasuhu, artharthi, jnani. 4 categories of people. He says artaha. What does artha mean? Very good. The one who is in distress. If you are in pain, you are called artha. Arti means the one who is suffering. Arti, sir? I thought it was Arti. That is Harti. Harati. Ha. H-A. That is Harati. Ganga ji ki Arti means you are giving distress to Ganga. In Sanskritam, Arti is not Arti. That is Harati. Ha. Hakaram should come. Arti in Sanskritam means trouble. Artaha. It is better you stick to giving names to your grandchildren from the Lakshmi Ashtotram. Don't try something new. You will end up giving names which don't mean actually right. Artaha, the one who is in distress, correct? But there is an other meaning to Artaha. Remember this. Brashtaishwaryaha punah praptaha. The one who has lost wealth but gains it back is called Artaha. So suppose you have lost your cell phone. Sir, don't even say that, sir. Our Atma is inside that. In those days, in Amar Chitrakatha, the demon will not have the Atma in him. The Atma will be inside a parrot. That parrot will be in a cage. That cage will be in a cave. That cave will be in an island. That island will be far away. So our hero will go take the boat, get inside that cave, win all the odds, kill that parrot, then the demon will die. Likewise, our Atma is in our cell phone. Right? Just assume your cell phone is lost for a minute. 21 passwords have been saved in that. 4 payment gateways are there in it. Inside that, when the flap cover, you will find those credit cards. Your Aadharam is there. That is lost. You are extremely depressed, worried. Next day, well, you're worried. You've been sharing this agony with everybody whom you know. Somebody knocks at your door. Is this your phone? I found it at the end of Brigade Road, lying. I saw your address and I've brought it. So you had wealth, you lost it and you have gained it. You are called Artaha. Artharthi means the one who has never had wealth but is gaining for the first time. That is called Artharthi. So both of them are associated with wealth. Artaha, he had wealth, he lost it, he gained it. Artharthi, he gets new wealth. Put together, they are called Aishwaryarthi. There is another person called Jignasu. Jignasu means the one who wants to know more about his Jivatma. That person is called Kaivalyarthi. Last comes the category where the person wants to know about the Lord. He is called Bhagavallabharti or Jnani. So Krishna tells Arjuna, there are 4 categories of people, Arjuna. Artaha and Artharthi together are Aishwaryarthi. Jignasu wants to understand his Jivatma, and Jnani wants to understand me. All people seek asylum in me. Thereby, there is no ministry allocation in Sanatana Dharma. Lakshmi will take care of finance. She is Nirmala Mami. There is Senadhipati who's Kartikeya or Kumara, who's Muruga, who's Sharavana, who will take care of army. He is Rajnath. Vishwakarma will take care of roads. He is Gadkari. In fact, Sanatana Dharma is like the current PMO. Everything will be taken care only by him. Artaha, Jignasur, Artharthi, Jnani. So the question is, answer is, Tameva charchayan nityam bhaktya purusham avyayam dhyayan stuvan namasyamscha yajamanas. What is the example to that? You have to do archana to him. Archana to whom? Archana to the one who listens to us. See, you think we are listening to the Lord? Impossible. We can never listen to the Lord because we have the habit to never listen to anybody. So if at all somebody has to bend, the Lord has to bend. He listens to us. Sir, does Sahasranama agree with it? Yes. I will read out the Nama. 627th Nama. He is called Vidheyatma. Vijitatma, Vidheyatma. See, only if I recite that line, people can recollect. If I say 627th Nama, adikkenna irundittu pottom. Namakkenna. Vijitatma, Vidheyatma, Satkirte, Chinna Samshayah. What does Vidheyatma mean? Listen to this commentary. Why am I reading that commentary? Right. Tesham. See, some of you may be wondering, sir, we thought a lecture like this will be very engaging, very simple. You are quoting Sanskrit lines. See, lectures cannot be as simple as the way we think. Now that the Father commands you, I cannot keep saying all these sentences. Okay, this is how my lectures are. I will read out from the Pramanam. Tesham vidheyam hi iha agaccha, iha tishtha, iha sva, idam bhungshva, iti vidhatum cha bhogyam swarupam asyeti vidheyatma. The one who listens to his devotees. Does he listen to his devotees, sir? Yes, I will give you 3 examples for this. 1. This is a kshetram which is found reference even in the Sangam literature of the ancient Tamil land. It is called Tiruvekka. See, certain names, if you are not a Tamil origin speaking person, you have to learn these namas. No other go. If you want to learn more about Sanatana Dharma, language should not be your barrier. So, Tiruvekka. Sir, how do we go to this? It is next to SM Silks and Babu Shah in Kanchipuram. You can buy one Korvai mountain border saree, and if you have time, you can visit the Lord. He is not that important. Okay, it is in a kshetram called Tiruvekka. The Lord is called Yathoktakari in Sanskritam. Why? Because there is a charitram to this. The Lord was reclining there. He is called Vega Setu. The other name is Vega Setu. He was the bridge to the river called Vegavati. He was the first encroachment, which the BBMP never cleared. He lay laid on the river called Vegavati. He slept. He did not want the river to destroy Brahma's yagam. In the same kshetram was a mystic saint called as Tirumalizai Piran. This saint was extremely devoted to the Lord and always engaged in deep penance. He was served by a student called Kanikannan and another lady who used to come and sweep his ashramam. After many months, out of sheer deep penance, this Rishi opened his eyes. Tirumalizai Piran opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, the lady who was standing in front and doing, she was a very old lady, she was sweeping, she turned into a 16-year-old young woman. 16-year-old girl. Since she was in Tamil Nadu, she was singing Sindura Puve. She has reached 16, so she started singing that song. By the Rishi's grace, she became a young woman and she started walking by the streets of Kanchipuram. The Pallava Raja who ruled that time was amazed to see this beautiful lady, a personification of blemishless beauty. He asked, I have never seen you in Kanchipuram. Where are you from? The king asked. She said, I was always in Kanchipuram, but I have turned young because of this great saint called as Tirumalizai Piran's eye glances that fell on me. Now this king said, even I am getting old. I have been trying to do so many anti-wrinkle treatments. L'Oreal has not been that helpful. This upping, there is one upping treatment. You have to take and you have to do this pap smear and you will get nice skin, it will glow. Suranarakhago bhoigandharvadaityehi chitram ram ramyatetam tribhuvana vapusham vishnumisham namami. You will be competing with the Lord and His beauty. So with all this technology, this king said, even I should become beautiful. Let him look at me also. She said, see, he is not in the profession of looking at people. If you stand in a queue, he'll keep looking at you. He just like that, he opened his eyes, it fell on me, I turned. Don't do all this with him. The king summoned the Rishi's student called Kanikannan. Kanikanna, come here. Ask your guru to come to my court and ask him to look at me. The student said, sir, my guru is not such a cheap person. He is completely into Bhagavad Bhakti, he will not come. If you are not listening to the words that I have commanded, it is better that you quit this particular city. You don't have to live in my jurisdiction, Kanikanna. As you command, sir. He went to his teacher Tirumalizai Piran and said, Tirumalizai Piran, Swami, Acharya Varya, the king has asked me to leave this city, I am leaving. The Acharya said, okay. After the student left, for a moment the Acharya thought, see, people call me a guru. My only student has left. Then, how can I call myself a guru? Are you a teacher? Yes. Do you have students? No. Then how are you a teacher? If my student has left, what job have I as a teacher to stay in this place? I will also leave this city. He left. As he left, he saw the Lord of Kanchipuram lying on Adisesha, looking with pitiable eyes at Tirumalizai Piran. He was looking in a way. See, your student has left, you have left. What will I do when I don't have a bhakta like you? When the Lord showed such eyes of a very pitiable state, the Alvar said, Kanigannan pogindran, Kamarum punkachi, Tamarai nee ingirukka venda, nee undan paina happai shuruttikkol. My student has gone, so am I going. Oh, the Lord with lotus-like eyes, you don't have to stay here. Take your mat, which is the 1,000-hooded snake, roll it, keep it under your armpit and walk along with me. The Lord walked along with him. Then he went and stayed in a village for one night, Vor Irukkai. That night he stayed there. This Pallava kingdom lost electricity. Dirty water started getting mixed with good water. All food grains were affected with ants and termites. The king was wondering what could have happened. Then he sensed that something equal to a calamity has happened. He goes to the place where Alvar, the Lord, and his student were stationed. He tells, please come back. I've committed a grave mistake by sinning against you. Please come back. Now, the Lord has to follow. The Lord, Kanikannan left, so did the Acharya go, and then the Lord also followed them back to the original place. Now the Acharya tells, Kanikannan vandozhindan kamarum punkachi tamarai-kanna நீ இங்கு இருக்க வேண்டும். நீ உந்தன் பைனாகப்பாயை விரித்துக்கொள். Now spread your snake mat and sleep. Yesterday he said, take your snake mat and walk with me. He walked. Today you spread it and sleep. He slept. He listens to his devotees. So he is called Vidheyatma. There is another kshetram very close to Chennai called as Tiruyavvalur. In this kshetram there was a rishi called Shalahotra. So this rishi was so devoted that the Lord came in the form of an old man and asked, where can I sleep? Where should I sleep? Which is the room where I have to sleep? Yavvul. Then the rishi said, this is the place. And as he slept, the rishi realized he was none other than the Lord, and he said, you have to sleep here permanently. So he slept there. There is one anecdote which, what does that Vidheyatma mean? He accepts what his devotee gives. Whatever you give. See, even our home cooked food, he receives it. You must realize how merciful he is with that. So, one of the greatest saints in the Vaishnava tradition called Trikudandai Andavan used to give an anecdote. It seems after Krishna's marriage to Rukmini was from Maharashtra. Now he is settled in Gujarat. So in a bullet train speed, he took her from Vidarbha Desham, Nagpur to Jamnagar, Gujarat. He settled there. From Sabudana Khichdi, suddenly she has to have dhokla. One afternoon, as they were talking, Krishna had a very upset stomach and he went and vomited. Rukmini asked, what food I had, you also had, why are you vomiting? No, I had something more. What is that more? See, yesterday one of the persons who manages many bovine race, cattle in Dwaraka, had very, very old food and water cooked for the cows. The cow is generally not very fussy in nature. Whatever he gives is those cows accept it. But yesterday he gave such stale food to the cows that cow refused to consume that. This man who lives in Dwaraka, Rukmini, was so upset. I have cooked such good food for you, you call it stale food and you're not having, Mr. Cow? He offered it to the ground, Krishnaya, saying, Krishna, let Krishna take it. If my devotees give even stale food, I accept that. Since I consumed that yesterday, my stomach is upset today. So he is called Vidheyatma. The answer to the fourth question, Kamarchantaha. Next, answer to the third question. What is the third question? Stuvantah kam. The answer is Anadinidhanam Vishnum. If you know that, you can recite. Anadinidhanam Vishnum Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvannithyam Sarva Dukkhakito Bhavet Brahmagyam Sarva Dharmagyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatham Mahadbhutam Sarva Bhuta Bhavodbhavam. This is the answer to the third question. Anadinidhanam Vishnum Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvannithyam Sarva Dukkhakito Bhavet. You will be away from all your worries if you recite this particular Lord's name. Anadi Nidhanam Vishnu. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Maheshwara for all the worlds. Loka Dhyaksham. Stuvan Nityam. Sarva Dukha Kito Bhavet. What was the question? Stuvan Tahkam. Stuvan Nityam, he says. Next. After this comes the answer to the fifth question. What was the fifth question? Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo mataha. Correct. Now the answer is Yeshame sarva dharmanam. He himself is. So whom should I do Archana? Narayana. Whom should I do stuti? Narayana. Whom should I do japa? Narayana. Who is the only one? Narayana. Who is the Paramadharma? Narayana. So he says, Yeshame sarvadharmanam bhavatah paramo mataha. Kim japan. So here he says, Yeshame sarvadharmanam. For that the answer is Aravindaksha. He says Pundarikaksha. Pundarikaksha means one who has got lotus like eyes. Very good. What does Pundarikam mean? Very good. Pundarikam means white lotus. Remember this. It is not pink or red lotus. How do we know that? From Amarakosha. What is Amarakosha?